Hi there. Today I want to talk about the benefits of living a bacteria-free life. Alright, so you probably heard that there's 10 bacteria for every one human cell. So that would mean that bacteria make up 10 times more of our body than human cells do. And this is true. And I think there's typically several pounds of bacteria. Bacteria are so much smaller than human cells, and that's why you can have such a high number of them living in the intestines. And that's the majority of the places they are. There is also, obviously bacteria in the mouth, bacteria in the skin all over. There's, bacteria in the sinus and the nasopharynx. There's also bacteria in the eye. Lots of people have pretty dangerous types of bacteria in the eye, including Staphylococcus aureus and Streptococcus, and that's common eye bacteria. And I think that those bacteria in the eye is what causes the discoloration, the black darkened eyes, circles in the eyes, and also eye bags and things like that is from bacteria in the eye. So I'll get to killing that as well. But the most important thing, obviously, is to start with the bacteria in the intestines. I mean, you've heard from everyone, from the government to health food to conventional medicine. Everyone says that beneficial bacteria is good. All right, everyone says that. I mean, conventional doctors don't necessarily push it as much as natural health people, but they still believe it. And they definitely recommend supplementing with beneficial bacteria, on antibiotic therapy and things like that. The good doctors will talk about that. And you know what? And I don't have that much against beneficial bacteria. I mean, it's kind of like saying, it's kind of like talking about a bronze axe instead of like a steel axe. It's kind of like, the bronze axe kind of works. It helps a little bit, but there's definitely drawbacks. It's going to get dull really fast, and it's not really going to do that great of a job. And that's what beneficial bacteria are like. They're like a bronze axe, and we're in the steel age now. At least I am, as far as health. So I want to help you to get a steel axe type of intestinal environment. So from that perspective, I don't really have much against beneficial bacteria. I mean, if it's all that you've got, it's better than nothing. It's better than doing nothing. But there's still much better ways to go about it. And there's so many negative side effects of beneficial bacteria, and I'll get into those. That it's just not worth it. It's definitely not worth taking it when we're in the age we are now. There's so many more better ways to go about it than beneficial bacteria. So, as I've talked before in my other videos, about the different ways to kill bacteria and all the different supplements, things that you can take, detox type stuff. My last video was about detox, and I talked a lot about that. But I want to talk about the negative effects of beneficial bacteria, okay? Because I think this is, is going to hit home for a lot of people. A lot of people are just totally convinced into the beneficial bacteria thing, and there's really nobody that's going against it. I mean, I think I'm probably the only one in the world, that will tell you that beneficial bacteria is bad, okay? But it's true. I've lived without beneficial bacteria for months and months and months and months, years even, and I haven't had any problems at all. And the positive benefits are just off the charts. All right, so let me just tell you some of the negative things about beneficial bacteria, things that you might not have even known were even related to bacteria at all, but they are. Okay, the most noticeable first thing that you'll notice when you get rid of beneficial bacteria in the intestines is that you will not pass gas. barely at all. And any gas that you do pass will have absolutely no smell at all. It'll just be air. So that's a negative of beneficial bacteria is, they create gas and, methane and things like that smell bad. And when you kill them, you don't have that anymore. Okay, so that's one. You don't have to worry about farting anymore. It's not gross. It's just air now. There's no foul-smelling things in it at all. And the second negative to beneficial bacteria is they just simply reduce your sex hormones. What they do is, it's just these foreign bodies in your body that your immune system has to fight. So it will basically, what it does is it lowers LH, luteinizing hormone. And when you lower luteinizing hormone, you reduce testosterone production in males and you reduce estrogen production in females. So I'm going to tell you that the reason why women go into menopause, at the age that they do and whatnot, is because of bacteria in the intestines. Reducing LH, reducing estrogen below where it needs to be, and creating those type of symptoms. So, getting rid of... and I want to talk about how it reduces LH, and the LH is reduced by cytokines, which are produced when these bacteria die. So bacteria die, they release cytokines. And the bacteria, sometimes you think, they're living. They're not dying in my intestines now. They die. They're constantly turning over. And every day, millions and millions die, and millions are born. And the next day, millions and millions die, and millions are born. So it's this cycle with a lot of bacteria death every day, releasing tons of cytokines in the blood, reducing LH, reducing testosterone if you're a male, reducing estrogen if you're a female. It's very destructive, okay? And this is beneficial bacteria. This is what everybody's saying, it's so great. No, it's not great. It's pretty terrible, actually. All right, and so obviously you can relate menopause in females to the bacteria. You can relate low testosterone in males to the bacteria. Okay, so two things so far is LH, which is sex hormones, and the first thing that I talked about is gas. Okay. Another thing, it's kind of new research, is that beneficial bacteria activate cannabinoid receptors. All right, those of you who've been experimental at all know that cannabinoids are in marijuana, and they're the thing that can make you feel good, definitely stimulates the appetite, definitely stimulates sexual drive, and obviously, appetite is good, sexual drive is good, but most people don't need increased sex drive or increased appetite. Okay, that's just not beneficial for most people. Most people want to curb their sex drive. They want it to only be there when they need it, with their significant other, and not at other times, and get excited from people not their significant other. It's not a good thing. And appetite, most people don't need help with their appetite. Most people eat too much anyway, and then when these cannabinoid receptors are activated, they're just ravenous for the appetite, and so this can definitely happen without taking marijuana, and it's from these beneficial bacteria. They actually activate these receptors. And you can think, whether you think we're created or evolved, you can think that it's better for these bacteria if we're eating a lot. If we're eating a lot, it helps these bacteria. So they have a reason to stimulate our appetite. All right. So that's another reason that beneficial bacteria are bad. Any of those negative things, increased appetite, increased sex drive, beyond good levels, it's just unnatural, for these bacteria to be in our intestines, and they are controlling our minds. Literally, this is the easiest way of mind control is having bacteria in your intestines. Like, it will literally control your mind. It will reduce your sex hormones. So it'll reduce your strength of character and your assertiveness, and it will. So that's what it does with the LH, the cytokines, and it reduces your willpower with the cannabinoids. So it reduces your strength of character. It reduces your willpower. I mean, that's straight up mind control. That's exactly what these bacteria are doing, is mind control. And make your gas smell bad. All right. So those are 3 things that these beneficial bacteria do that are very bad. Okay. Now, so now you might be asking, well, okay, how do I get rid of beneficial bacteria? Or like, I'm afraid, because I've heard all of these good benefits, how necessary beneficial bacteria are, and you might even think, well, we might have even evolved. I mean, bacteria are supposedly around way longer than humans are, so for humans to come into the picture, we had to evolve into the bacteria niche. So you might think that bacteria are so important because we evolved basically into them, and that's just not true. So the way things are supposed to be is actually the human intestine being a human intestine with human cells, all right, and not bacteria. So you might be thinking, well, that, okay, beneficial bacteria, there's so many things people say, like, okay, maybe they produce vitamin K, they produce, what else do they produce? Short chain, medium chain fatty acids, I believe, short chain fatty acids. And that's pretty much it as far as things that they produce. Well, I mean, what you can do is just buy a vitamin K supplement. And that's a simple fix. You can eat short, medium chain fatty acids from, good fatty plant sources, such as coconut and maybe palm oil and things like that. So, I mean, you really don't need those things. And if you're eating fruits and vegetables primarily, then you're going to be getting tons and tons of vitamin K. I mean, spinach has way more than the daily value of vitamin K. So you really don't need bacteria at all, as long as you're eating a good, healthy diet based on fruits and vegetables, which everybody should be doing. I mean, anybody who's aware of their health should be eating primarily fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's just not an option. That's just what we're designed to eat. It's like, you're not going to put, McDonald's, hamburger grease in your gas tank, okay? You're going to put gasoline. That's what it's designed to take. And the human body is designed to work off of fruits and vegetables. Grains, not really, especially not modern grains. I mean, you should just not really be eating grains. Protein, yeah, a little bit. In moderation, lean proteins, sure, you can eat a little bit. The main thing, though, with fruits and vegetables, I'll just go into a little side note. This can be my next video, but, I'm a biggest skeptic of nutrition that you've ever known, okay? So I wasn't going to go to eating fruits and vegetables unless it was scientifically proven and they could tell me exactly why to go to fruits and vegetables, okay? And these are the reasons in my research that I finally decided to go to eating primarily fruits and vegetables. One is, let's give a good one first, potassium. Potassium is absolutely necessary. I mean, any of you who have read anything about primal diet know that basically there's a 10-to-1 ratio. You should be getting 10 parts potassium for every 1 part sodium. And most people in Western society are getting more sodium than potassium, which is incredibly dangerous. It's just not the way the body works. The body is supposed to be permeated with potassium. It's just the way it functions. All right, so the body will pump potassium actively into the cell. It just pumps it. It just pumps it like crazy. And then there's a bunch of potassium in the cell, and then there's pores where the potassium can leak out. Any excess potassium can leak out. So that's really how to keep your body healthy, is to keep a big amount of potassium in there, so it can just work on that pump and pump potassium and let it flow out and just have a great cycle going. And it definitely detoxifies your cells and just moves, it recirculates. It's like having, drinking water, a lot. It'll recirculate the water out, and you kind of are flushing things out. And it's the same thing with potassium. A cell is just like that. It takes potassium in, and then it pumps it out with the waste products. It takes it in and pumps it out with the waste products. So you want to keep tons of potassium so that cycle can be going. Okay, fruits and vegetables, incredible sources of potassium. Great. I mean, it's the 10-to-1 ratio that we're supposed to have is in fruits and vegetables. So that's why. Definitely that's a huge reason, is potassium. The second thing with fruits and vegetables is bicarbonate. I'm sure you've heard about people saying, oh, drinking baking soda is good for you, alkalizes the body, blah, yada yada. Yeah, but sodium bicarbonate has sodium in it, and it's not that great. What you want is to get this bicarbonate from fruits and vegetables, which it has a ton of. And I mean, the body is designed to run on fruits and vegetables. It has plenty of bicarbonate. It's awesome. The next thing is 4 things total. So we've talked about potassium, we've talked about bicarbonate. Phytochemicals is another one. These cancer-fighting chemicals in them. And then the final thing is blood sugar control. Every single person needs to have a blood glucose meter, and they need to be testing their blood glucose regularly and learning how their body reacts to different foods. And this, if you get a blood glucose meter, and I tell you that your fasting blood glucose should be 76. I think that is the optimum number. Okay? Anything above 76 is not good. Your fasting blood glucose. So the way you do that is just take your blood glucose in the morning before you eat. And if it's above 76, there's a problem. And I can guarantee you that you're going to be above 76. I mean, everybody's in Western society is insulin resistant to some degree. So you're just probably going to be in the 80s. Most likely it's going to be in the 90s. A lot of you is going to be in the hundreds. And you wouldn't know that anything's wrong with that, because doctors will say, oh, if it's under 126 and you don't have diabetes. Well, let me tell you, the research shows anything above 85 will drastically increase your risk for cancer, drastically increase your risk for heart disease. That's anything over 85. So you want to be significantly below that. You want to be 76. I mean, if you get down to 70, you might experience some tiredness and things. So that's why 76 is a good medium, because it gives you enough energy, it gives enough sugar for to run your brain properly and everything. But, 76 is not going to be enough blood sugar to do any damage. So that's what you want to shoot for, is a fasting blood glucose of 76. And you never want to get above 140. You want to test 1/2 hour after you eat. That's when the highest levels will be. If you're over 140 at that point, you're not eating right. Okay, well, sometimes fruits can get it above 140, but what will happen is it'll decrease quickly, so it won't cause damage by being over 140 for a long time. So anyway, that's a precursor. That'll be my next video, is the fruits and vegetables, but I want to stick to what we're doing now, which is the bacteria. So to recap with bacteria, beneficial bacteria are bad, okay? Obviously bad bacteria are bad. And the way that you get around needing beneficial bacteria is, 1, eating enough foods that contain vitamin K, like spinach and plenty of other fruits and vegetables. And so you take vitamin K. What else do they produce? Short-chain fatty acids. Just eat a good, fat source like avocados or olive oil, things like that. You'll be totally fine. Plenty of good fats. And that's pretty much it. I mean, there's really nothing to these bacteria. They're not really that helpful, if helpful at all. They definitely cause, so many negative things. I probably can't even think about how many suicides these bacteria have caused by behavior manipulation, people just feeling that they cannot get in control of themselves. It's like constantly being high on marijuana. You cannot control how much you eat. You cannot, control your sex drive, getting in trouble with that. I mean, people commit suicide because of these things, all right? And it's because these bacteria are just destroying our lives, all right? So you need to get them out of the body. In my other video, I told you how to do it. Lugols iodine, excellent. It'll kill candida. It'll help kill bacteria. You're set. Food grade diatomaceous earth. It'll kill gram-negative bacteria. It'll kill the traditional bad bacteria, all right? And then tribulus terrestus. And with the saponins, will kill the gram-positive beneficial bacteria. You need all three of those ingredients, the lugols, the diatomaceous earth, and the tribulus terrestus. You need all three of them so that you can keep all of these types of microorganisms killed in your body. Because if you're taking one of them, the other two microorganisms will fill in the niche that has been cleared and cause even more negative things. Like you might have heard that taking just tribulus will increase estrogen in males as well as increase testosterone. And it's true because the gram-negative bacteria will take over, releasing even more cytokines and making estrogen happen. So that's very bad. So that's why you have to take all three of these. You have to kill the candida, you have to kill the gram-positive, and you have to kill the gram-negative bacteria. If you're just killing one of them, it's going to do more harm than good. All right. So anyway, you kill all of those. Make sure that you're getting enough vitamin K. That's pretty much it. I mean, your gas will not smell anymore. Okay, your sex hormones will go up. Your well-being will go up, and your self-control will go way up. All right. There's no negatives. I mean, it's absolutely great. So, next I want to talk about eyes, alright? So, I've noticed dark circles under my eyes, and I don't get much sleep because I have insomnia, and I'll talk about that in another video. But, I didn't believe that dark circles were normal, and everybody's like, well, dark circles are normal when you don't get enough sleep. And I'm like, why? Don't just tell me something stupid like that. Dark circles are from not getting enough sleep. Okay, well, what is it about not getting enough sleep that's causing dark circles? I mean, dark circles just shouldn't be forming under the eye. It's just stupid to say it's from lack of sleep. Alright, that's like saying you're unhealthy, so eat fruits and vegetables. Well, why should I eat fruits and vegetables? Well, what is that actually going to do for me? Why can't I just take a fiber pill or whatever? So you actually have to know the real mechanisms. You can't just be telling people to do things without knowing why. Alright, so these dark circles, my thought, okay, I've read scientific journals saying that the human eye has staph aureus and strep in it. And I'm just like, that's just not good. We're talking about cleaning our mouths and how important it is to floss and how important it is to brush our teeth. There's a bacteria in there, and they're going to rot our teeth out if we don't brush them, and that's true, okay? That happens to many, many people. So why aren't we talking about the eyes that have just as bad bacteria as the mouth, probably even worse? Your mouth doesn't even probably have staph and strep in it, okay? So your eyes are getting jacked up, all right? And degenerative eye stuff. I mean, everybody's vision goes bad over time. Why does that happen? It shouldn't be happening. I mean, it just shouldn't be. And the reason is because of these bacteria in there. That's my theory, and I'm very convinced on it. So it's pretty easy, to kill, and both of these things, strep and staph, are gram-positive. So you know that, okay, I just have to kill gram-positive bacteria. It's not that hard. What I like to do is make a 10 millimolar solution of hydrogen peroxide in a physiological saline solution. And 10 millimolar has been proven to not damage the eye. People have researched it. People have been like, okay, let's try different concentrations of hydrogen peroxide in the eye. Why? These are probably foreign countries, and the reason why they do it is because they know that they got to kill the bad stuff in the eye. It's American society. We're all sheep. We don't know these things that these other countries do. So 10 millimolar hydrogen peroxide. I mean, if you have any chemistry background, or you can Google it, how to do that. I mean, I don't have the exact recipe accessible right now. I'll try to put that in the video description, how to make 10 millimolar hydrogen peroxide. So you make that, and you put, what I do is I pull my eyelid out like that. I take a dropper, have a dropper with hydrogen, the 10 millimolar hydrogen peroxide, and I hold my eyelid out with one hand and then use the other hand to drop in some hydrogen peroxide and just kind of let it sit there, kind of bathing the bottom of my eye. So hopefully it kind of soaks into these areas here and kills these bacteria, and it definitely will, the 10 millimolar. You know, it's been proven to kill biofilms, and that's what's in your eye is biofilm of these bacteria. And then the next thing I do is I take palm oil and warm it up so that it's liquefied, and then just put a drop of palm oil right there and right there on the inside of, on the eye, basically on the eyeball, there and there. And that will make your eye all cloudy and stuff, so you can't really see much. But you do it at night, and what palm oil does, I mean, this is a folk remedy, okay? The palm oil in the eyes, or coconut oil in the eyes, is a folk remedy, and it turns out that these fats will kill gram-positive bacteria. It's kind of, when I read that in the research, I was like, whoa, like this folk remedy is proven by science, and that it does what I want it to do, what the theory that I had that is the problem with the eye. It's just proven all around, the anecdotal evidence, the scientific evidence. It's just bathing in this good science. So then I put the palm oil on both eyes like that, and then go to sleep. That's my nighttime eye cleaning regimen, and I think that it should be everybody's regimen. That will definitely decrease the bacteria load in your eyes. I think bacteria load is a big thing that causes insomnia as well, and that's why one of the reasons I'm working on it. Alright, and then, for the nasal passages, neti potting or snorting up this 10 millimolar hydrogen peroxide in a physiological saline will definitely clean out those nasal passages, and you got all your bases covered. The only thing that I don't have covered is the lungs, so I need to figure out a way to kill bacteria in the lungs. I think that's definitely a huge, huge thing, and definitely a topic for future research for me. So, we learned a lot today. We learned more about the negative effects of beneficial bacteria. We learned how to kill them effectively using that three-pronged method, lugols, diatomaceous earth, and tribulus terrestus. We learned about 10 millimolar hydrogen peroxide, using it in the eyes and in the nasal cavities. We learned about palm oil, using that in the eyes, and this is all to kill bacteria there, reducing the bacteria load in your body. And you will go back to being human again, not being mind-controlled from the bacteria, and being able to sleep properly, having proper sex hormones, having non-stinky gas, and one more. Oh, and also one other thing is that killing bacteria in the intestines will prevent any flu. You will not get the flu anymore. You might get a little cold, but never the flu. And I've talked about that in my past videos, and that's because viruses ride endotoxins from these dead bacteria into your body. So you need to need to keep these things out of your body so that viruses can't get in. Okay, so you'll never get the flu. You'll never get food poisoning because you're killing all the bacteria all the time, so you won't get food poisoning. And if you notice a detox reaction like headaches and whatnot from when you start this protocol of killing these bacteria, then just take activated charcoal, and it will the activated charcoal will bind up the negative waste products from these bacteria and make so it doesn't cause this detox reaction. So activated charcoal, very important. My next videos I'll talk more about why to eat vegetables and fruits primarily, And that's about it. That's probably what I'll work on most next. So please tell your friends about this video. Please share it on Facebook. I want everybody to know this stuff. It's solid science, and you can please ask me any questions, challenge me on anything. You know, I'm rock solid scientific mind, so I want to know your challenges. I want to know your perspective. And yeah, I hope that this helps you to live a better, more fulfilling, more free life, and that this gives you more liberty. And that's what my intention is. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Marcus DeMarco, signing off.